Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today we've got, obviously, the 115 Drew McIntyre, and I am pretty excited to get into this figure. Of course, as you can clearly see by the knee pad, it is not the Chase variant, though. That would have been super cool to get. Of course, taking a look at the back of the box, we got the CM Punk, Tyler Bate. Just reviewed the Kairi Sane right before I got into this one, and of course we got the Drew McIntyre. Only need 2 more figures from this wave if I do choose to get them or not. I don't know, but I'm kind of thinking about at least getting the Rock. It would be nice to get both of them, but I don't really need both of them. That's one thing I gotta consider, at least for me in my collection. I don't try to strive after getting a bunch of people who I don't really feel the need of getting, but then there's some people who I feel like I gotta get like every figure of if I can at least attempt to, like this guy here. Anyway, with all that being said, why don't we get into this Drew McIntyre action figure review? Alrighty, you guys, we've got Drew McIntyre out of his plastic prison, and first things first, I will say the accessories are fairly decent. You know, I do like the rubber kilt, though I wish it was a tad bit softer, because you know, once you lock that in place, he's not really going to be able to move his legs. Not that this Drew McIntyre can really move his legs anyway, as he has D'Lo Brown syndrome. So, not too bad in the one leg, but they're both pretty effed up. Plus, I don't know if this is like a factory thing or if I got a used one by accident, which it didn't really look used, so I'm gonna blame this on the factory. What in the hell is going on here? The other side is like completely fine, but you come over here and it looks like someone started torso cracking it. So I think my plan with this one after the review, because I actually kind of did have this plan anyways in mind, but now I'm just gonna really think about executing it. So we've got this Drew McIntyre. The legs to the modern day elites pop off fairly easily. The pine cone joints don't necessarily exist anymore, and with it already pretty much being pre-cracked, I think we'll use this one for a custom, and I will go out of my way to buy another Drew McIntyre. But to show you what I mean, let me go grab it real quick. Alright, before we get into that pile of fodder, we've got the nice black with the like plaid stripes around the back end of it, along with that little pouch there that I did notice. Where did it go? Oh, right there on the side of the leg and stuff. This accessory's got a really nice sculpt because, you know, we are going to go over the accessories. We've got the same old Claymore. We've got the same old hands, though this body and everything is in a different skin tone. So we've got the leg slappy hands, and we've got the weapon / Claymore holding hands. But yeah, now that we've got that out of the way, I'll just show, for an example, these two Drew McIntyres are not really all that much different. One's just on the modern formula, and one is on the retro formula. So with this Drew McIntyre in particular, to get his lower legs off to use them on this fodder body for a custom Drew McIntyre, I would have to break his leg open like this one is here, hopefully do a cleaner job than I did on this one here, and that's how I'd have to swap the legs off. But with how these legs are, I could potentially just shave the joints down a little bit here, and I could use the legs on that to make that one. But yeah, with all that being said, I guess since we have him out, if I could get a figure to stand without knocking him the fuck over, we have Drew McIntyre and his other elite. As you can see, two different skin tones. I do kind of prefer the lighter skin tone, though maybe that's just me. The formula isn't all that much different, minus the boots technically being a tad bit different, and the gear, as this is more of just a plain black gear with a little bit of blue and stuff like that mixed in. But with this one, as you can see from the back end, he's got like dragon scale on the back end of the gear. It's got the white plaid going down the knee pads and stuff of that nature. Plain black boots, plain black wrist tape, got the chest hair, same Drew head scan that we've gotten almost like a million times with every Drew McIntyre since, they stopped using this head scan on this elite back here, along with another head scan that elite came with. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Let's get this man up in his final pose if we can work something out there, I guess. Well, alrighty you guys, now that we've got him all up here in his final pose, I'm shocked I could even get the legs to move this much with how stiff his lower half was. But, at least his legs are on pins, so, he's at least somewhat on a decent lower leg formula. But at the end of the day, I am a little bit disappointed with how this Drew McIntyre turned out. Now, if he turned out kind of like the Punk who he's given the Future Shock to, and or the Kairi Sane, which I did do a review on in the last video, feel free to go check that out whenever, maybe you're done watching this or whatnot. But, at the end of the day, all I can really say is this, if this figure did pose well and he didn't have this ginormous crack going down the side of the torso, this figure easily could be an 8 out of 10, a solid 4 out of 5 stars, but he sadly has these issues. So as you heard, if he was perfect like the other ones, that's what I would have given him. So, don't discredit this figure for what it is. But with how mine is, it's kind of almost like taking a little bit of a risk to get another one just to see if this figure will pose around decent enough again. Because I would love to use this attire in the pick fed, but we'll just have to see how that ends up turning out. Either way, when it comes down to it, all these issues that it's got, this figure in particular is going to get a big fat wonky 6. And that's just because this issue really needs to be nipped in the bud. And what's going on with the torso here? My bad. I had to cough, and I kind of caught it in time to pause the camera. But anywho, at the end of the day, I gave him a 6 out of 10. So I think this calls for a solid 2.5 out of 5 stars. This figure really had a lot of potential to be one of the top Drew McIntyre elites. I think this one still takes the cake though. And now that I have one that I plan to use for that custom now, maybe I can pose this one up on my shelf, because I do have an extra one of this, so I can actually pose that one up in the Fed and stuff and use that, or vice versa. I'll have to just take a look at them and see which one I would much rather use. But yeah, I guess with all that being said, I don't really have all that much more to say, so if you did like the video, feel free to like the video. If you did not, womp womp, I guess, but if you want to, feel free to go check out some of my other action figure reviews. We've got the other figures from 115 that I've gotten up so far, like the CM Punk, the Kairi Sane, and the Tyler Bate. But we also do have pick fed content and loads of other things like unboxing videos and stuff of that nature, so feel free to go check out anything that you like. But on top of that, if you guys would like to, feel free to subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe. And while we are here in the middle of talking about that, we are currently sitting at 337 subs as we speak. As you can see, no subs gained, but we've got that Kairi Sane video I was talking about out, and we also have that pick fed episode out, along with many other things that are, already live on the channel, along with the many things I plan to get out to you guys. So keep an eye out for any video in the future. I don't really have anything planned too much, but once I can get my room fully rearranged and all that good jazz, I do plan on working on episode 14 of the Pick Fed. So yeah, but with all that being said, have a good rest of your night, day, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I am not in your time zone. But either way, it doesn't really matter. All I can say is, at this rate, just, do whatever, chill out, have a good time. Just don't be a menace to society, I guess. I don't fucking know. I'm not trying to be inspirational. Either way, deuces, ooses, yeet.